Family history is not just a list of names and dates recorded in dusty old books. It is a living, breathing tapestry woven with threads of love, ambition, conflict, and survival. Each thread represents a life, a story that contributes to the grand, complex pattern of who we are today. When we trace these threads back through time, we discover that our personal story is connected to the great sweep of human history in ways we might never have imagined. We find that the decisions made by people centuries ago, living in worlds vastly different from our own, have rippled through the generations to shape our existence. My own journey into the past has revealed a tapestry of incredible richness, linking humble beginnings to the gilded halls of power. This exploration is a personal quest, a desire to understand the foundations upon which my own life is built. It began with simple curiosity, with questions about grandparents and great-grandparents, but soon spiraled into a much larger investigation. The trail led me from the familiar landscapes of modern Britain back to the heart of the Renaissance, to the bustling streets of Florence, and then through the royal courts of France, Scotland, and England. It is a story populated by some of history's most influential figures, whose legacies have shaped art, politics, and culture across Europe. This is not just their history, it is my history, and it has profoundly changed my understanding of my place in the world. The journey is like navigating a great river, starting from a small, modern stream and following its course backward to its powerful, ancient sources. Along the way, we see how different tributaries, mighty European dynasties like the Habsburgs and Bourbons, flowed into our family's river, adding their own unique currents to the mix. It's fascinating to see how a marriage arranged for political gain in one century could, several generations later, lead to the birth of a child in a completely different country, under entirely different circumstances. This chain of human connection, stretching unbroken across centuries of war, revolution, and change, is a testament to the resilience of family and the enduring power of lineage. In this essay, I want to share this incredible story with you. We will travel from the sun-drenched hills of Tuscany, home of the legendary Medici family, to the misty highlands of Scotland, the domain of Robert the Bruce. We will witness the turbulent reigns of the Stuart kings in England and see how their royal bloodline, through a winding and unexpected path, eventually found its way into the Glover family. This is more than just a genealogical exercise. It is an attempt to bring the past to life, to understand the people behind the famous names, and to appreciate the intricate web of destiny that connects us all. Our story begins not in a palace, but in the bustling marketplace of 15th century Florence. Here, a man named Giovanni de' Medici laid the foundations of a dynasty that would change the world. He was not born a nobleman. He was a clever and astute businessman who established the Medici Bank. This bank became the most powerful financial institution in Europe, lending money to popes, kings, and merchants. Giovanni understood that wealth was power, but he wielded it quietly, preferring to influence events from behind the scenes. His vision and financial genius were the bedrock upon which his family's extraordinary rise was built, transforming them from simple merchants into the unofficial rulers of Florence. Giovanni's son, Cosimo de' Medici, inherited his father's sharp mind, but possessed even greater ambition. Cosimo used the family's immense wealth to gain political control of Florence, not through force, but through a network of patronage and alliances. He was a master of what we might call soft power today. He sponsored some of the greatest artists of the Renaissance, including Donatello and Brunelleschi, who designed the magnificent dome of the Florence Cathedral. By funding art, architecture, and scholarship, Cosimo didn't just beautify his city, he cemented his family's prestige and created a legacy that would associate the Medici name with cultural brilliance forever. The Medici's influence continued to grow with each generation. They were masters of balancing commerce, politics, and culture. While they ruled Florence like princes, they maintained the appearance of being ordinary citizens for a long time, a clever political strategy that kept their rivals at bay. They established academies, collected ancient manuscripts, and fostered the spirit of humanism, which placed human potential and achievement at the center of the universe. This cultural revolution, funded by Medici gold, spread from Florence across Europe, sparking the intellectual fire of the Renaissance and laying the groundwork for the modern world. Their impact was profound, shaping not just Italy but the very course of Western civilization. This deep-rooted legacy in banking, politics, and art is the starting point of my family's incredible journey. The Medici proved that power could come from commerce as much as from noble birth, a revolutionary idea at the time. Their story is a powerful reminder that history is often shaped by those with the vision and the resources to turn their ambitions into reality. It was their strategic use of wealth and their deep appreciation for culture that elevated them to the world stage, making their bloodline one of the most sought after in all of Europe, a crucial fact that would soon connect them to the great royal houses of the continent. The Medici understood that to secure their power for the long term, they needed more than just money. They needed noble blood and royal alliances. They began to use their immense fortune to arrange strategic marriages for their children, weaving their family into the very fabric of European royalty. This was a brilliant move, transforming them from powerful bankers into legitimate players on the international stage. One of the most significant of these unions was that of Catherine de' Medici, who married the future King Henry II of France in 1533. This marriage brought Medici influence directly into the heart of one of Europe's most powerful monarchies, a connection that would ripple through history for centuries to come. Another pivotal figure in this dynastic strategy was Marie de' Medici. At the dawn of the 17th century, she was chosen to marry King Henry IV of France. This was a hugely important match. Henry was a Bourbon, a member of another powerful royal house, and this marriage solidified the Medici's status among the elite. When Henry IV was assassinated, Marie became Queen Regent, ruling France on behalf of her young son, Louis XIII. She was a strong and determined ruler, a true daughter of the Medici family, who used her power to further the interests of her family and her adopted country. Her life shows how Medici women were not just pawns in a political game. They were active and influential leaders in their own right. Through these and other marriages, the Medici bloodline mingled with some of the most famous dynasties in Europe. Their descendants could be found in the royal families of Spain, Austria, and beyond, connecting them to the powerful Habsburgs and other major houses. Each marriage was like adding a new, vibrant thread to the family tapestry, creating a complex web of relationships that spanned the continent. An Italian banker's great-grandchild could now be a French prince or a Spanish queen. This network of kinship provided the Medici with unparalleled access to power, information, and influence, ensuring their legacy would endure long after their bank had closed its doors. This intricate web of marriages is the crucial bridge that connects my family's story from Italy to the rest of Europe, and eventually to Britain. The blood of Giovanni de' Medici, the Florentine banker, now flowed in the veins of kings and queens. It was through Marie de' Medici's descendants that the line would eventually cross the English Channel. Her daughter, Henrietta Maria, would marry King Charles I of England, bringing this rich continental heritage to the British Isles. This single union set the stage for the next chapter of our family's history, linking the artistic patrons of the Renaissance to the embattled monarchs of the Stuart dynasty. To understand how my family tree took root in Britain, we must first travel north to the wild and rugged landscape of Scotland. Long before the Medici were building their banking empire, Scotland was fighting for its very existence. A key figure in this struggle was Robert the Bruce, who was crowned King of Scots in 1306. He is a national hero, famous for leading the Scottish army to a decisive victory against the English at the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. His courage and determination secured Scotland's independence for centuries, and he established a royal line that would become one of the most important in British history. His legacy is one of fierce independence and resilience. The Bruce dynasty eventually gave way to another famous Scottish house, the Stuarts. The connection came through Robert the Bruce's daughter, Marjorie, who married Walter Stewart, the 6th High Steward of Scotland. Their son, Robert II, became the first Stuart king in 1371. The Stuarts would rule Scotland for the next 3 centuries, a period filled with political intrigue, religious turmoil, and constant tension with their powerful southern neighbour England. They were a dynasty known for their intelligence, charm, and often their tragic fates. They navigated a complex world, trying to maintain Scottish independence while being drawn ever closer into the orbit of European politics. The story takes a dramatic turn in 1603. When Queen Elizabeth I of England died without an heir, the English crown passed to her closest relative, King James VI of Scotland. He was a direct descendant of the Stuart and Bruce lines. He travelled south to London and became King James I of England, uniting the crowns of Scotland and England for the first time. This historic moment, known as the Union of the Crowns, created the foundation for modern Great Britain. The Stuarts, once solely the rulers of a small northern kingdom, were now in control of one of the most powerful nations in Europe, bringing their unique Scottish heritage with them. This is where the continental and British threads of my family's story finally intertwine. King James I's son was Charles I, and as we know, Charles I married Henrietta Maria, the daughter of Marie de Medici, and King Henry IV of France. In this one marriage, the bloodlines of the Scottish heroes, Robert the Bruce and the Stuart kings, merged with the lineage of the Florentine bankers and French royalty. This union brought together the fierce independence of the Scots, the political cunning of the French Bourbons, and the cultural sophistication of the Italian Medici. This powerful combination would define the next generation of British monarchs and create a direct line to my own family.